Good morning. I greet you all this morning. I am happy to be back and give my testimony part 2 on my journey with the diabetes. I'm so happy this morning that every time I begin talking, I always talk of what the Lord has done for me. And before I give my testimony, part 2, I want to read a scripture, talk about that scripture, and then continue. I'll read Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Throughout my journey with diabetes, this scripture has helped me so much. And I want to say something concerning this scripture of walking in the valley of death with the Lord. The valley of the shadow of death brings a picture of a dangerous situation where a sheep's life is in jeopardy. Why would a sheep be going through such a place? One may ask. And this is the question I asked myself. Why should I go through this? Why should I suffer so much? And the reason why the sheep has to go through such a place is because the shepherd is going with the sheep, not snatching the sheep back to the pasture he left behind. That was very encouraging as I walked this journey of diabetes. I knew the Lord was with me. I knew the Lord was in that valley with me. The shepherd leads the sheep in that valley. The path through the valley is also one of the paths of righteousness. So the shepherd leads the sheep into a valley filled with danger and death threats to get to some better place. And not that, to get to some better place. No danger will overtake us because the Lord is watching. When I was walking through this valley, I realized that this is an unfamiliar valley, and the shadows linger in a valley of decision, sickness, threats, finances, and so on. And you don't know what to do. At this time, remember this: your shepherd has appointed even this hard time as one of his paths of righteousness. I tell you that this was a great encouragement in my life because I realized that the shepherd, who is God, is leading me through that valley for a good reason. The valley of diabetes, the valley of sickness, the valley of finances, because I needed money to buy good food that I could eat, which I will enlighten later in part 3 of my testimony, the kind of food that I ate. So I want to encourage somebody this morning that God is leading you through the situation you are in for a reason. And rest assured that He's taking you to a higher place where the sun is warm and the grass is lush. I knew I would not die. I knew God was taking me somewhere better. I knew that the Lord will feed me. The Lord will take me to a better place in my health. and today I'm enjoying good health. Every valley is a pathway to something better. According to Psalms 84, verse 11, you can read for yourself. No good does the Lord withhold for those who walk uprightly. So it doesn't matter the valley. No good will the Lord withhold. He will always give the best. And Paul said in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, that we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. So the valley is not good, but the shepherd is, and he knows the way. He is the way, he knows the way, and he will lead in that valley. God has led me in this valley of diabetes, and I know that he really knows the way, because as I said in my part 1 of my testimony, that I only wanted God to show me the way. And he showed me the way because he is the way. Something else that you should note is that the shepherd has you covered. God had me covered. I knew I was protected. And I was able to fight fear when I didn't know what was going to happen next. And David spoke these words with a lot of confidence. Don't worry. I mean, Homestead and donkeys are there. They are God's creation. We love them. David tells his confidence came from 3 sources when he was in this valley of the shadow of death. And this is my walk. As David narrates, I actualized it, and it is my walk. 1, he stayed in God's presence. Through this valley of diabetes, I learned to stay in God's presence. And in fact, soon I'm releasing a song that talks of being in God's presence. That's why he said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. He knew God's presence was with him. And God's presence has been with me. I'm speaking of God's nearness. God's nearness to me. His presence in my life, in my body, in my health. God was with me, and he is with me even today. This valley is fearful, but even when we are in that fearful valley, faced with uncertainty, our shepherd, as I have learned, has something he wants you to hear. I will be with you. So the Lord was with me. The Lord is with me, and that is why I've been able to conquer diabetes. The other thing that we learn is that the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? So I never had anything. I knew the Lord was with me. That is according to Psalm 118, verse 6. Many people approached me. They told me, go to the hospital, take medicine, eat this food, eat that food. But my impression was not there. I knew the Lord would lead me through. So, there is no valley, no matter how dark, that you will go through alone. The Lord will not leave you, as he has never left me. As I continued, I also realized that God is powerful. So I saw the power of God as David did. David said he had no fear in adversity because of the comfort of God's power, protecting him from that which would ruin him. So greater is that who is in me than he who is in the world. According to 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. I knew I will overcome. Deep down my heart, I knew I would overcome. I experienced God's leading through this journey. God comforted me. God helped me through every circumstance. My husband stood with me. And I tell you, though it is painful, though it is not easy to walk through this journey of diabetes, but the Lord was with me. I had support from my husband, from my children, and I just want to thank God for that. So, having said that, I want to tell you that my health was adversely affected. I lost my hair. My hair became so light, scattered in my head. I could not shave. I love shaving my hair, but that time I could not shave. So I used to wear this wig, and people never understood why I put on the wig. It was not something I liked, and I don't like wigs. But I had to because I had no hair. Another thing, I became white. My body, my skin became white, such that even after applying oil on my body, after around 2 minutes, I would turn white, the whole body. And my skin became, it turned to scales. I had scales all over my body. And one time I went and looked at myself through the mirror. I feared myself. It was that bad. I feared myself. My husband was in the sitting room. I went and asked him, what am I turning to? What am I becoming? I feared myself seriously. And from that day, I never looked at myself through the mirror again. And my husband asked me, didn't you know how your skin has turned to be? I told him no. But he encouraged me. He told me it is going to be well. That encouraged my heart that it is going to be well. That is why I've read that scripture about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Looking at me that time, you would think I'm going the next minute. And I felt like really I am going. I didn't want my children to visit me because I never looked well. But deep down, though I felt that I was going, deep down my heart, I knew that God is with me and my time has not yet come. I was passing through a situation to get to a better place. My skin today is very healthy. When you look at my face, I think you can attest to that. I am a grandmother of 6, but I feel like I am 20-something years. I'm very energetic. So the Lord allowed me to get sick. He allowed me to experience these changes in my body, to give me a better body, better hair. Now you can see I've shaved my hair. because I have strong and thick hair. And I think you can see it. The short one that you can see now. My hair is good. And my skin is healthy. I am no longer white. I no longer have scales. So God has taken me to another level. And I thank God for that. I never listened to the voices that were telling me, go to the hospital, do this, because I knew that I am not supposed to take diabetics medicine. I knew that deep down in my heart. And so I want to encourage somebody this morning. As I finish my testimony, part 2 of my testimony, I want to encourage you that it does not matter what you are going through. You may be passing through a very difficult situation. It may not be diabetes. It may be a family issue. It may be another kind of health challenge in your life. I want to tell you that have faith in this God who speaks and he does what he says. I remembered a song that one of the artists has sung, and I'll quote in Kiswahili. Anatenda, anatenda. Aliyoniahidi atatenda. He does. What he has promised me, he will do. God has promised us good health, and he will give it to us. He has given me this good health. And I'm here talking to someone who feels like life is over, who feels like he will not be back or she will not be back to their feet because of what you are going through in your health. I want to tell you it is possible. I want to tell you that God does it because he has done it for me. And I want to thank God for the people I mentioned in part 1 from YouTube channel who have really walked with me. I'm still walking with them. I'm still working with Pastor Dennis Pollock of Beat Diabetes. I'm still working with Dr. Ken Berry. I'm still working with health coach Kate. I'm still working with the others. And we have one here in Kenya, though for 1 year now, she has not been in the channel due to some challenges. She lost her mother and she felt so discouraged. I want to speak to her this morning. Wanjiku Ndungu, please, there are so many people who want to listen to you through your channel of Diabetes Hope channel. Please come back. Many want to hear you. I am not a doctor. I am a theologian, stroke psychologist. I will not give advice as a doctor in this channel, but I will refer you to them that have done it. I will refer you to doctors who can help you, who have embraced low-carb diet, and it has helped the diabetic people for a long time. My dad came to visit. His legs were so swollen. He was told that he should not eat meat, he should not eat eggs. He had kidney problems. He started taking diabetes medicine from 2002. I tell you today he's off that medicine. His legs are not swollen anymore. He is healthy. He is eating eggs. He is eating meat. He is eating healthy food, low carb food. And as I finish, I want to tell you that God restores. He restores what has been stolen. My health was stolen completely. And as I continue giving or talking in this channel every week, I will tell you when I was really attacked. And it was a real battle. But God has helped me. My children are happy today. In fact, the one who is taking my video is my last born, my son, who just got married the other day. And he's happy as he listens to his mother giving his testimony. My children are happy. My husband is happy. And I want to thank you for listening. And if you want to hear more of this testimony, please subscribe and like, because next week I'm bringing on board my husband, who has really walked through this journey of diabetes with me. He has helped me. He has held my hand. He has encouraged me when I was discouraged. When I felt like it is over, he was there for me. Stay tuned. Thank you and God bless you.